I have a problem, and that's Potato Knishes from the legendary 2013 musical Ratboy Genius Dreams Minecraft. It's been living rent-free in my head for about 2 weeks now, and I needed to pay up. So I'm gonna do the only thing I know how, turn it into a metal arrangement. I thought maybe it'll be fun to try something new and show the arrangement process, but if you just want to hear the finished song, that's fine. You can click this timestamp right here. Okay, cool. I was gonna shoot a secondary angle with my phone from over there, but I didn't take into account how much storage space that would take, so let's scrap that idea. Okay, so starting off, we got a basic template with, I've loaded it up with some symphonic stuff, some brass, some strings. The very first thing I want to do is figure out the BPM. I'm gonna tap it over the original. Sounds like our tempo is about 130. Let's see if that lines up. A little slow. 35. Too fast. Okay, 132. Cool. Now, since both you and me are avid Ratboy Genius fans, I obviously don't need to tell you that this song has 3 major arcs. First off, we have the Potato Knishes arc, which mainly focuses on the magic and the mystery of the titular Potato Knishes. 2, the Little Black Squash Balls arc, which shows us the processing of potato pancakes. And third, last but certainly not least, we have the Centipede arc, which is a depiction of Little King John's enthusiasm over turning little black worms into centipedes. And I'm thinking I want to represent each of these 3 arcs with a distinctive style change. First, I'm thinking some big crashes, fat chords, going into a faster part with some double bass, blast beats probably, and a bunch of symphonic chords. And probably so we have a lot of power, I'm going to growl and scream the lyrics in this part. For the second part, I'm thinking we lower the dynamics a lot, maybe some bass tapping, maybe some vocoder vocals to sort of emulate Little King John's voice. And then for the final Centipede arc, I'm thinking maybe some halftime drums, some chuggy rhythms, really get things super heavy. Thinking I'm gonna start right off by punching in some basic MIDI chords, just so I have something to base the rest of the stuff off of. Okay, I punched in some basic ensemble beef chords. These aren't really final. They're just something for me to use as a reference while arranging. Okay, let's pop some drums in here. Thinking for this first section, just some crashes. Yeah, I'm thinking going into some blast beats. Hammer blast style, maybe? Not sure a traditional blast would sound that good in this setting. If you don't know what a hammer blast or a traditional blast is, then don't worry, you'll hear what I mean. I always program my drums by hand. As a drummer, I just get what I want the fastest that way. But I have absolutely nothing bad to say about using drum parts from a library. So this is a hammer blast. And a traditional blast beat. A traditional blast has more of an alternating pattern between the kick and the snare. And as for the cymbal, you can do what you want. One of my favorite things is doing a ride with sort of a ding da da ding da da ding da da ding pattern. Adds a bit more of a pulse. Something like this. Hammer blast. Traditional blast. I think I'm gonna do a combination of both. Maybe start with traditional. I'll go through and add fills and stuff later to make it flow, but now we're just arranging. Try doubling the kick right here for some more drive. Okay, let's try to throw some guitar in there. Thinking some big fat chords like maybe one in the center. I'm now making the executive decision to transpose this down one semitone, just to work a little bit better with my guitar tuning. Close enough. And I have to record every guitar track twice, one for the left channel, one for the right. Not gonna make you sit through that though. Okay, now I have to think of a guitar part for the blast beats section. I am not a very technical guitarist at all, so I'll just try my best to come up with something tasteful that is within my skill set. I think I've come up with something cool. I'm gonna record it in smaller sections because doesn't really benefit me to sit and learn the entire part perfectly at this stage anyways. You could call me lazy if you want, and you wouldn't be wrong. So for the Centipedes part, I'm thinking we go halftime drums, dare I say, genty. Please don't take my lunch money. I'm gonna do some halftime drums on a China cymbal. Copy paste that a few times. We're gonna make some fun rhythm. I'm thinking triplets, like a something kind of Metallica 1. And play around with that pattern a bit. And because we have this sort of half measure leading into the last part, I'm gonna turn that into a fill, but maintaining that 16th note triplet vibe. And for the little reprise part, thinking, how about we bring back the hammer blast? Whoa! Something like that. Let's record some chugs over that. And I'm just gonna play the same rhythm pattern as the kick drums, but on my guitar. Something like that. And I'm just gonna copy paste this drum part down to my kick sample track, which just has a super clicky triggered kick sound on it. So that way I can have the kick drum louder in this section, just so I can easily hear the rhythm as I'm recording it. That's very exaggerated, but it's gonna be easy to record too. Again, this is the sort of thing that I could probably get in one take if I spent 15 minutes practicing it, but I don't wanna. I personally don't think there's any shame in recording in shorter segments just to save time. For this almost end section, I'm thinking I'll just pump some chords, give it a bit more of an open vibe before the very end. Final blast section. Not sure what to do. Something explosive. I'm gonna try just copy pasting those same chords. I think that works well enough. Can fill that part up with symphonic stuff and just let that do the heavy lifting there. It is now the next day because the SSD I recorded to got full and it took about 15 hours to transfer those files to my computer. Very fun. So I believe what I was about to do was to record some bass. I will very openly admit that I use MIDI bass for almost all of my music. However, for this squash balls section, I'm thinking I want some almost solo-esque melodic stuff on the bass. So for that, I'm gonna do it for real. So for the first half, I'm gonna do some soft finger-picked stuff. I'm thinking start with that figure, make something of that. And then maybe for the second have some two-handed tapping if I can come up with something cool. Okay, let's do some tapping. I need a fret wrap. I'll take this one. These things are a life hack for recording in general, but for tapping especially. For the final section, I'm thinking I'll just arpeggiate the chords in some fun way. Probably just something basic like... on the left hand, and then some nice little coloring notes on the right hand. That's close enough. I'm gonna punch in a little fill at the end of that. Create a quick vocal bus. Growl. Main. I'm gonna do a few more tracks. Some fun color on that, maybe. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna pop a Howard Benson on the master bus. There we go. And I'm gonna pop a vocal bus preset on there. I like to record my vocals into just a little bit of processing, just so I hear what I'm doing more clearly. Recomp, modern vocal preset, something like that. And another instance of Howard Benson. And I've got a bass vocals. A little bit more compression, some grit, some EQ. No reverb and delay because I'm doing that on the vocal bus. I may come to tweak that a lot later on, but it's nice to record into. Just to preview it with a bit of the processing that I'm gonna end up putting on there anyways when I'm mixing. Copy that over to my other growl tracks as well. Okay, now I'm gonna scream about Potato Knishes. I'm thinking for the intro here, maybe I'll make the vocals sound like I'm far off in the distance with some reverb.
Potato Knishes! Potato Knishes! I love Potato Knishes!
And do some backup highs for that. I'm thinking I'll go with low growls for this section, because I have these almost slammy chords. That's the vibe that I feel.
This machine created Potato Knishes! This is where I make Potato Knishes!
I'm thinking just for the line, the magic and the mystery of Potato Knishes. I might do that with some clean vocals, just because the final note that Little King John hits there is so spicy and oof. I do often like to combine growls and cleans by doing melodic screams, but those are super loud. I can't really do them here in the apartment, so cleans it is. The magic and the mystery, the Potato Knishes. And because I'm pretty bad at clean singing, I like to just record a couple of takes over each other so I can pick and choose my favorite parts of each take in post. In Reaper especially, it's awesome because if you record over another track, you automatically get takes like this that you can choose between. Makes comping super easy. And for the squash balls part, I'm thinking a vocoder might sound really cool, because Little King John has that voice and all. I always forget how to do this, because I don't route stuff that often. I know I need a track for my vocoder and a track for a synth to control with said vocoder. So I'll need a synth, any synth, and I'll just program the melody of the vocals onto that synth. Let's go Tal Noisemaker default. Start up Juno. Okay, there's the synth. We need a revocode. Vocoder vocals. Call this one revocode. Whoa, what did I... Revocadode? I'm leaving that. If I've got this right, I send the vocals that I'll be recording myself to the first inputs, 1 and 2. And then I send the synth to inputs 3 and 4. Okay, now I try recording a take. and hopefully it turns out vocoded. I cannot decide if I want clean vocals or growls on this final Centipedes part, so I think I'm gonna record both. Potentially only use one of them. Potentially use both. We'll see.
This is where I make centipedes. I sure love to make centipedes.
I turn little black worms into centipedes. Okay, now that all our parts have been recorded, I'm going to do some off-camera MIDI work, such as adding drum fills, cleaning things up, maybe some more orchestration. Boring stuff. I also have to mix and master. Hopefully it turns out okay. Depending on how responsible future me is, you can probably find this finished track on your favorite digital music platform, such as Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, etc. Links to that in the description of this video if that's the case. Anyway, here's the music video. Enjoy!